We're live. I was almost late. I barely got in here just a couple seconds ago. I was frying up those crinkly fries that we ended up picking up from the market today. They were so yummy. Listen, I'm spoiled. I tell you, I got Shanghai lumpia sitting over here. Look at this. Look at that. Ain't that beautiful? Look at that. Shanghai lumpia, and is it Friday night already? I lose track of time. I really do. So what I got here is I got my usual libation, my favorite drink in the whole world. I'm going to show you what it is. Uh, you grab yours too. You grab. I mean, most of you got a little tube of wine hanging around, right? Fundador on ice, one of the nicest brandies in the world, no doubt about it. Here, let me take a little sippy poo. Ah, mm, I'm telling you, there is no better drink in the entire planet than that drink right there. A little brandy over ice, Fundador. I've got to go in for a second sip. Mm, delicious. Thanks for joining me tonight in the Philippines at 6 p.m. It's probably some other time where you're at and some other day. We're doing this for the first time. We're gonna do our experiment, and we're gonna do the live streams on the day and the time that the algorithms or the analysis said that I should be doing them, and that is right now on Friday evening. So anyway, I went through and I reconciled the divots for the drawing. I just want to let you know that I went through that. So I went through every name, matched up every number, made sure that everybody that was in here, that's supposed to be in here, is in there. All right. There might be one or two that got by me, but for the most part, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. There shouldn't be any errors. I didn't see any errors at all. We're keeping track of this pretty good. So everybody's back in the pool now because we're going to do a drawing for 500 pesos. Of course, the usual rules apply just because it's evening time on a Friday and everybody has already started in on the tuba wine and the San Miguel Light and whatever, the Red Horse, right? It doesn't mean that we don't have to follow the rules. We have to follow the 30 person in the feed rule. That's 30 people in the chat. Where's Jollibee? Jollibee's hiding up here. Jollibee wants to say hello to everybody. Hello. Hi, everybody. Wee, how's it going? Ha ha ha. Green Belly Jollibee is here. Jollibee is having a great time flying around in the bucket of chicken. Wee! That's so fun to play with. I'm glad it's sitting here on my desk because it's quite the stress reliever. Let me see who all's here. Let me bring up the chat and see who's here today. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. All my friends are here. I see. We got Anna Mae Reyes. What? 30 people in the house already. Holy smokes. That was fast. That was really fast. I've got to take another sip. Anime's here. Charmaine is here. Sekbuchi. Megan Gomez is in the house. Jan Vlogs. And we've got Jan Vlogs. That's right. I got it right. We got Crystal's Adventure. It's always an exciting adventure when Crystal's around. Rona Cease's here. Rider Adventure. And we have Larice. Larice is here. How are you, Larice? Menolent's here. Tim Desiak. Good evening, Tim. How's it going in your world? Beth Beltran is here. Smiles. She's all smiles. Nicole Farr is in the house. Nicole, good evening to you also. Princess Sarah's here. Wow, we got a good turnout. I'm really surprised. We got a great turnout. So maybe the algorithm or the analysis is correct. Mark is here. That's Crystal's other half. I'm not sure Mark is the better half, but he's the other half. Did I say that? Minnie-o, what do you know? When do you think it's going to snow? No, no, I'm not. See, listen, I just started. Man, Minnie just brought this to me a couple seconds before live. I have not been indulging for the better part of the day. You saw the video. You saw the video just a few moments after it happened. We went shopping today for snacks. So, yeah, everybody keeps saying, yeah, Dad, okay, so you're complaining a little bit about your weight. And then you're showing us video of all the snacks that you're buying. Okay, that sounds great. You think that there might be a reason behind why you gained 10 pounds? Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Delicious. Oh, my goodness gracious. Well, I have a story to share before we draw tonight, though, that I'd like to. Princess Sarah's here, hanging in there with us. 38 people. Oh, by the way, so I was in Overstay Road's premiere today. Yeah, it's a premiere video, and there was a lot of hate going on in there. I was really surprised. So you probably don't know who Overstay Road is. I don't think it's your kind of channel. You got a guy named Marco who is a world traveler, and he's been everywhere. He's served our country. He's been in law enforcement in some governmental agency. I'm not sure which one because it's kind of a secret. But anyway, so people were hating, saying that he's this and that and abuses Filipinas and all this other stuff. But I don't view him as being that way. I just was very, very surprised that they were throwing stones at him just because he has, wife number one and wife number two. And it looks like he may have wife number three and wife number four in Thailand. They all know each other and they all seem to get along. Marco at Overstay Road, he was not the inventor of this concept, and so Lorraine is here. Lorraine Pajaras, and her husband can't be very far away, also probably watching in the background. Shane R. Rasa, I know that your number's in here because I checked my list, and I made sure you were in here. We're good to go, Shane. Made sure you were there. I didn't want you to I want everybody to have a fair shot at winning the money. Pesos 500. The story really is, though, is that all the women get along and they get along with each other. Everybody is fine with the relationship status as it is. And so as long as everybody's going, I don't see any abusive behavior by the man. I see he's an excellent father, on camera, takes care of his kids. He's a very loving and caring kind of guy. So I don't understand where all the hatred comes from. I think there are cultural misunderstandings going on. 40 million people in the house. Mildred is here. Hi, Mildred. I know you're in there. I know you're in the bucket. You got a divot in here for sure. I know that because I checked that out myself. I promise you're in there. And who else did I run into? I ran into Lander in there. Yan Arena's in there. Jay Lynn's in there. All of you are in there that are here. Ramirez in there. Anna G is definitely in there. See, for some reason, for some of you, I could remember even your numbers, which is kind of weird, It's kind of strange that I would not only know your name, but I know your number. It's all here on the list. But when I was going through the numbers, matching them up to the names to make sure everybody was in there, I was kind of surprised, Rowan. I was kind of surprised I was able to remember people's numbers, So, for example, Sek Bucci's is number 20, right, Sek Bucci? I know for sure you're number 20. I will never forget that number. And Minnie Snow, I don't know if Minnie Snow is in the chat, but Minnie Snow is 69. Now, that's the reason why I would remember that one. Yeah, so there's already 31 people here. Yes, there is. Mamata Pahor. I think that Didn't we call your name out the last time? Didn't we call? Didn't weren't you a winner last time in your? Oh my goodness gracious! Thanks for coming out on Friday night in the Philippines. Thanks so much for being here. Annie MC is here. Annie MC, how you be? How you be, Anna G? So anyway, what do you guys think about that? You think it's okay if the man can afford to support 3 or 4 wives? Then I kind of think that he should be allowed to have as many wives as he desires. You know, if they all get along with each other, I think that really is the. I think I would disagree with that sort of an arrangement. If folks didn't get along with each other, then I would have to question what his motivation was. But as long as they're able to survive as a family, take care of each other's kids, which does happen, I don't see the conflict. So he has also former wives that that he's separated from, or relationships. He's had a lot of past relationships. I'm not sure what all the details are exactly, but I just enjoy watching the man. And so, does that mean that I'm a bad guy because I enjoy watching him and what's going on? He's just showing everyday life in real time the way everybody else is. And so he has a little bit of a different lifestyle. His channel actually should be a lot. I would say he should have a lot more subscribers than he does because he's been doing it longer than anybody else. I think he's up to 50K, but man, he should have hit that 100,000 mark a long time ago. Tim is saying that all day brownout today, so yeah, that can certainly take your smile away, having to deal with a brownout. You know, it's so inconvenient, isn't it? I try not to let it get to me, and that's why I've got that. That's really why. Well, it doesn't get to me because I got the generator out there, takes care of all that stuff. Kicks in, What? He's your bitter half. That's the bitter half. Okay. That's kind of fun, I think. Oh my goodness gracious. Mildred is here. Let's see. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, Sek Bucci. Sek Bucci is number 20. I don't even have to look at my list. Oh my gosh, my gosh, my gosh. Michelle Lazada is here. Michelle, you're in there. So I took care of y'all, I mean, for crying out loud. I made sure that all of you folks here are inside here. Right? I didn't miss anybody. I do not believe I missed anybody. I do want to check something out though. I don't believe I missed anybody. It does not mean that that I didn't miss someone. Yeah, no. Annie MC, you're in there, number 12. Yeah, I saw your name and I go, I better check that out. You're in there, Annie MC. I know Michelle's in there. I wouldn't miss Michelle, not for a minute. Shane, double checked, triple checked to make sure you were in there. So anyway, I think I left you guys hanging. I was going to talk about the Mexican connection between the Philippines and Mexico. And of course, right around the same time that how is it that my last name, my surname, I should say it. You guys say surname here in the Philippines. We say last name in the United States, but we also say surname. But one of the reasons why my name is plastered all over the Philippines, I'm talking about my surname, Herrera Street, is because when Spain colonized the Philippines, they were colonizing Mexico, Acapulco in particular, at the same time. And so they had they established. They didn't have to establish diplomatic relations, although the diplomatic relationship between the Philippines and Mexico is very, very strong. They have almost the same, if not the same, agreements between the Philippines and the United States that they do with Mexico, which means they have a treaty that restricts or addresses double taxation, income, all the same things. In fact, Mexico, I believe, is one of the easiest countries for a Filipino to visit on a Filipino passport. So you don't need to go get a visa. There's no visa process. And the same for Mexicans that want to come here to the Philippines. And that's because of the history of how they invited and established consulates and diplomatic relations around the same exact time as the Spanish were occupying the Philippines. And so you had a lot of well, you had a lot of the same that happened with the Spanish and the Chinese and everybody else. You have a lot of mixed marriages. ABCM is here. And so that's how my name, Herrera, I could probably trace it all the way back to the event. You know, who married who and had kids with whom, which I eventually will. And when I get to that part, I'm going to share it with you. And that's why this name is so common in the Philippines. It's not as common as some of your all names, you know. I mean, but it's pretty common. The name Herrera is all over the place in Spain, in Europe, in Italy, in Mexico, in the United States, and the Philippines. It's all over the place. And so I'm proud, you know, but there is a connection where, you know, you guys established diplomatic relations with Mexico. In fact, you have a very, very strong diplomatic relationship, as I pointed out. And the embassy in Mexico, the Philippine embassy, is spectacular, Victorian looking type house. I've been there, Mexico City. It is absolutely uh, beautiful. I mean, beautiful. You can have a better host than Mexico. Of course, my family in Mexico, my history is very interesting also, but we'll go into that another time. You know, and so there were diplomatic relationships between Mexico and the Philippines that remain strong even today. And so if you want to get the whole story, because it is kind of like it has a lot of branches, you know, to the story. But if you want to, you go to Wikipedia and just uh, put in your Google search. You can put Wikipedia, Philippine Mexican relationships or history, and then it's going to unfold right before your very eyes if you're interested. Of course, I'm interested because once I started seeing my name pop up all over the place, you know, that kind of interest, that was very interesting to me. You know, my family is surprised. I know that. They shouldn't really be surprised because there are a lot of twists and turns connected with our name. Both the Herrera name spelled the way that I spell it, or my family spells it, and also the phonetic pronunciation of the name also is a very interesting story behind it. So, uh, why am I bringing it up? Because that may very well be the reason why I feel so like the Philippines is my home. You know, I can see culture shock that visitors have when they first come to the Philippines. Let me see the one that I talked about before, where like the first time we're coming through Manila, you know, a baby was being bathed on one of the major streets there. You know, the street back behind Rojas Boulevard, a baby was being bathed in a bucket, you know, and they had gone to the shop owner and asked, you know, if they could have water so they could take a bath. And those types of things initially did uh it was a little bit shock to my senses because you don't see that. You see that now in the United States. Christ, you see people walking around naked now in the United States every single day in Sacramento, California, and San Francisco. I know it's hard to believe, but they have a dying economy, a dying population, and a growing homeless situation there in the United States. It's killing everybody. You know, housing should not be as expensive as it is in the United States. It should actually be, in my opinion, a human right. So there, I said it. Now I'm going to get all kinds of hate mail for saying that. Marianne Salonga is here. Marianne Cha Ram is here. Sir Luke 1, 2, 3, 4, Landers 5, 6, 7, 8 is here. May the force be with you. You're all in here, by the way. And Journey Journals is in here. Journals is in here for sure. Guaranteed. And ABCM is in here. Mini O, verified. Ramir, verified. Who else? Shane in there, double checked. Oh, I already said that. Ramil Guapo is in here. God Repairs is in there. Would I leave God Repairs out of the mix? Now I think that would be not good, right? Mel Torres is here. Mel Bell Torres is also in here. He has the number. What is Mabel's number? What is your number? Number 71. So if number 71 wins today, that's your number. That's your number. You're in there. And let's see. Thinks of Ali is in here. Thinks of Ali. I ran into 2 or 3 times. No, I didn't put his number in there 2 or 3 times. I generally he's more recent, right? Thinks of Ali is a more recent entry over the 100s. Yeah, 149. So that's what's going on. Hello, how you doing? How you doing, Mabel Torres? Yeah, so you're all in there. As far as I could tell, I don't see anybody whose name I recognize. Mel is definitely in here for sure. Mel and Des and Dens are in here. I double checked all those things. And of course, Pressy Manzanero's in here. Oh yeah, well that's a problem. I wonder how you would do it, Tim, without a generator. I wonder. Yeah, I can't think of it. Solar, I guess. Solar would be the way to go, I guess. I'm not talking about you have to go all solar. What I'm saying is maybe you need for lighting and things like that. If you have that covered, then you're probably in okay shape. But when things like that happen, I mean, once or twice I was just like, I'm out of here. I'll go downtown and hang out. And then I just head to the mall or head somewhere, Chanelinian is here. Den's vlog is here. I just mentioned Den's. Den's is here. I'm behind in the chat. I know. I'm too lazy to pick up my phone. I don't know why it is. So let's see. There's one more thing I want to talk about before we draw. I talked a little bit about it before, but I think I wanted to give you some more detail on this. Oh no, Dan, don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, I am. Yes, I am going to talk about something important, the Philippine peso. I wanted to tell you a little bit of the history of it because I went looking for the history of it. The Philippine peso, abbreviated as PHP in foreign exchange, that's the Forex, is the national currency of the Republic of the Philippines. The peso is known as the piso in the Filipino and Tagalog languages. By the way, did you know that some of you probably know this, that Cambodia uses the US dollar? And there's another country. Help me out, Tim. What is the other country that uses? There might be a couple of them. Does Costa Rica or Belize use the US dollar? And does not one other South American country use the US dollar also? And so you don't get as much bang for your buck there because they're using it, they're using the US dollar, almost. So they kind of take advantage of it when tourists come around. It's kind of like going into Mexico. If you hang around the border towns like Tijuana and the border at El Paso and things like that, you're not going to get the best dollar peso rate. When you cross over the border and you want to buy a meal or something like that, you have to go into the interior of Mexico to get the real floating rate, which is something like, what is it? It's crazy. It's like 17 or 18. It could be higher. I haven't checked in a long time. Pesos per dollar. And I think at the border, they're giving you 13. They lock it in at 13, so you get more bang for your buck as you go into the interior of Mexico, I do believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But anyway, The rate, I think today was somewhere around, when I checked, was 55.55. And I think we're going to be heading south. I think it would be stronger for you and weaker for us, for Americans living over here. I think we're going to see it. We're going to see it get even stronger in 2024, where we probably end up somewhere around 50-1, which will be great for the Philippines because it's doing so well economically, and inflation seems to be getting under control. And so it would be a great 2024 if the economy continues to grow and the inflation rate goes down a little bit. As of, let's see, they're talking, let's see, this is Investopedia that I'm reading this from. Uh, let's see, it's represented with the symbol P if you're in the Forex exchange. It's got a couple of crossbars across the P, and that's how you know that you're talking about a Filipino peso. And as of January 9th, it was equal to 51.38. Over the past 5 years, its value has ranged from the low below 48 pesos to $1. I don't remember. I suppose I do remember where it got below 50 and a high of 53.89 in late 2018. The Philippine peso has a currency abbreviation. I already talked about that. It underwent substantial devaluation under the peg system when it was directly pegged to the US dollar, but became free floating after the nation's 1993 new Central Bank Act. That's when they said we're not going to peg the peso rate to the dollar any longer. And it's a good thing that you guys made that move, because the economy it started to grow at phenomenal rate. Started to average 6-7% annual growth. I mean, which is incredible, with the exception of the global calamity, which kind of got in the way of the growth rate. The move brought stability to the currency and eradicated the black market, which existed during the peg system. So they were buying and selling dollars on the black market because there was plenty of money to be made. The Republic of the Philippines has been under Spanish rule for 333 years and under U.S. rule for 48. In case you didn't know that. So it was when they decided not to peg the rate, against the dollar, but allow it to float, that magic started to happen in the Philippines, and that they started to realize tremendous economic growth, which I predict is going to continue through 2024. In fact, 2024 just looks like it's going to explode, economically. I hope I'm right about that. Unfortunately, things won't be happening the same way in the United States. They're already starting to experience layoffs, high unemployment rate, 13% increase in bankruptcy filings for Chapter 7, even a higher rate of bankruptcies. John Ray is here for Chapter 13. We have bankruptcy in the United States. So that's why I put so much faith in the Philippine peso, and that's why. See, people ask me a lot. They say, "Hey Dan, why wouldn't you be keeping that money and savings in dollars?" Well, it would be okay to do that. I mean, you'd have to convert them over to pesos at some point, but I tend to do it because I have more faith in the Filipino peso than I do the American dollar. I don't buy, sell, or trade currency, and so I don't want to give you that impression. It's just when I look at it, the value of the dollar really exists on the value of the dollar once it's exchanged, and the value deteriorates after that day. So this is just my belief. It's based on nothing but nothing, except my own personal emotional feeling and my attachment to the Philippine peso. I have this idea that if I hold dollars for any long period of time, even one day, it will devalue and I won't get the full benefit out of it. But if I exchange it and I do it as quickly as possible, then I'll get the maximum pop out of the money. And I've been right most of the time. I mean, first of all, you can't go wrong when you're exchanging dollars for Philippine pesos because you already have a cost of living here in when you're comparing New York or Los Angeles to Manila. I should say Los Angeles to Manila. The cost of living is 43% cheaper here in the Philippines than it is in Los Angeles. So wouldn't you think that you would get an automatic 43% value increase of the peso if you exchange that money ASAP? And so my thinking could be flawed. I'm admitting to you that I don't really think very deeply about it, except that I exchange the money really, really quickly, or I let the banks do it for me when I transfer the money from bank A to bank B here in the Philippines. And so the last thing I want to talk about, so I don't know if what I do has any merit or not, but it's worked out nicely so far. So a couple more things to talk about, leaving that behind because it's kind of boring. But a couple more things are that we have a friend who I thought was in Cebu that we were going to go up and that we were going to go to Cebu and see. I said go up to Cebu. Cebu is actually south of here. So if you go to Hilongos, you know, I'm learning about my geography now of the Philippines, right? Where the how the islands line up. Right. Before I didn't even think about it. I thought of it only in terms of hours. But if you're going, it makes more sense to take a ferry across from Hilongos if you're going to, let's say, Bohol and you wanted to go to the Chocolate Hills. Yeah, the Hershey Kisses Hills, right? Because it puts you on that side of the island. If you're going straight from Hilongos, Leyte, which is south of us, straight across to Bohol, it puts you right where you want to be. Puts you where they have that riverboat cruise where they serve a buffet meal on it. Puts you right there by the Chocolate Hills. But where Mammy and I would like to go is Alona Beach, which would be the other side of the island. So that means some kind of way we got to get on a bus, a trike, a bike, a hobble hobble, a pedicab, some kind of way to get from that side of the island if we go to Hilongos over to Alona Beach. But why would you do that when you could go you can go Ormoc to to Cebu to Tagbilaran, right? You just go like this. You go Ormoc, you head south to Cebu, and then you go from Cebu to Alona Beach via Tagbilaran. And then you would have to take a bike, a trike, a hobble hobble, a taxi, and go out on the island, right? And spend a few days there. That's the way, I probably wouldn't visit the other side of the island. I visited before. I loved it. I love nature. I love seeing the hand monkey, the tarsier. But I've done it already. And so, you know, I want to go. I probably want to spend, a few days on a white sandy beach, right? So there you would go through Cebu. Well, so I was planning this thing going to Cebu, Mammy and I, and then all of a sudden we find out her friend isn't really there in Cebu. She's in Negros, right? She's in Negros. So I'm looking at the map again. All right, she's in Negros. She hasn't. I I asked me email her or chat with her, find out all the details about when she's returning to Cebu because she has to fly out of there, and then maybe we can meet her there. But she's probably coming back during the celebration, right? The big celebration that has a million crowds of people that I don't feel comfortable around. Pressy Santos is here. You're in the draw today, Pressy. So I mean, so now I'm thinking, okay, if I can't do that, because she might return back on the 20th and then be there for the celebration, and then I don't know how long she's staying. She hasn't told us. She might be flying out. But so then I was looking at the map. I was saying, is it possible to do Tagbilaran to Negros, right? But I don't know where she's at in Negros. So you got the north, you got the south, you got the east, you got the west, you got all this geography, you got all this landmass. We first have to figure out if she's in Negros Oriental, Negros Occidental. Of course, if they're anywhere near Dumaguete, I ain't going flat out. But it looks like it's possible to go Tagbilaran uh, to Negros. Easy enough. I know you guys are probably all laughing at me, right? You guys are probably all laughing at me going, "Yeah, Dan, you can do it that way if you want." I just don't know. I don't know. Is it just easier to fly? I don't think you can fly. Yeah, you can fly into Panglao. Of course you can. That's another way to go, right? I can go to what is it over here? Tacloban. Yeah, the MacArthur exhibit, which I still haven't seen. And then I could, Mammy and I could take a plane out. But somebody says that doesn't go directly. Listen, I don't know if this is true or not. I'm just listening to what people are telling me, right? And they're saying that you can't go from Tacloban to, you know, uh, Alona Beach. I think you can, right? Didn't they just build a big ass airport in Panglao? Who knows in here? Who lives around those parts? Somebody help me figure this out. The Philippines has so many islands. I get them all mixed up. It's complicated getting from point A to point B. I mean, I'm totally used to long ferry rides by now. I'm used to doing overnight ferries. I'm used to doing fast ferries. I'm used to it. And so it's no big deal. You tell me it takes 8 or 10 hours to go, what normally would be you know, a 2 hour car ride if it weren't for the ocean. I'm okay with it. I've accepted it. So I've accepted it. Listen, I keep thinking about how these are cold now. Keep thinking about Tim saying, Dan, it's very rude to. It's I can just hear him. It's very rude to eat on camera. Can I drink on camera? Drinking is allowed, folks. Let me wipe this condensation off so you can see this name, right? Most of you know this. There is no better drink in the entire world than having a little fun. Get it? Over ice. That's lovely. That's absolutely lovely. No, this is probably going to be my first and last drink. Marissa is here. Hi, Marissa. Marissa, oh my goodness gracious. You guys threw a curveball at me. Let me check to see Marissa. Marissa. How come you're not on my list, Marissa? Marissa. Marissa O. Marissa. LMNOP. Marissa O. Let me go to this list here. Marissa. No, we're going to have to add you. I don't see you on here. I thought you were in here, though. Yeah. Okay, we're going to have to work on that. All right. We are 42 minutes or so into the live stream. And I just wanted to share those couple of thoughts, about what was going on. And one more thing, one final thing before we draw. Yeah, man, Minnie said to caller. Yeah, I probably will not eat the lumpia, even though, it's over here. I got the plate over here and it's screaming at me, eat me, eat me. You guys can probably hear it through the microphone. You want to hear that crunchy goodness of the lumpia Shanghai as I munch down on it, but it ain't going to happen. I think we're going to let that sit here and we're going to test that out after the live stream because it won't be long. So one more thing now that I want to comment about the Philippines in general. It kind of is. It's not really a critique, right? It's not. It's an observation. I'm sharing an observation with you. So, as many of you know, because I've been talking about this a lot, uh, we're trying to get everything dialed in to for man mini for mini for when the days arrive that Dan will not be around. You want to take care of the people around you that you love and care about. And so, but in the Philippines, the bureaucracy there, it's improving a lot. When you go and you apply for like Phil Health and set everything up. I don't know, should I wear it like this? There. When you go apply for Phil Health. So now let me explain something that happened recently, and I just want to tell you a little bit of what makes me a little bit frustrated. Okay, so we go into Phil Health locally in Bye City, and this was a beautiful thing because we used to be able to go in there, check account status, make a payment if we needed to. They'd write out a receipt. They'd have a computer right there in front of you, so you could see where you're at. And I think that if I'm not wrong, um, if you want Phil Health when you're under the age of 60, then you have to pay that premium. And so we've had Phil Health for many ever since we got here, and we've been paying that premium. But I said, I have a sense that we're behind on the premium. Let's go down and check out to see where we're at. We get down there and they say, well, we no longer have a counter service in bye. If you want to talk to a representative, you can do it online, high tech, right? And we couldn't get the thing to work online. I could tell you that right now. We did everything we could think of. We could not get the online thing to work. So we ended up going to. You saw the video. We ended up going to Ormoc, and we were able to get it handled really fast. Turns out that she was current, but she had another payment due for the next quarter through April. Something like she had to pay something like 2,000 pesos. So I'm good with that, knowing that there's some place that we could go where we can get counter service. But the thing is, the guy in Bye, who's a very, very nice guy who's helped us before, even before the changes, the clerk had actually printed out or given us a piece of paper saying, if you go on this website, and you have your account number, it'll be easy to set up. And it just wasn't. And so there's a bridge that needs to be built, between this transition from going from counter to online. I started thinking about how do elderly people figure this whole thing out with PhilHealth if they're not proficient in the use of a computer or the phone? How do they figure it all out? I mean, there's certain things that uh, when they build a website in the Philippines, that I've noticed, even with airlines, even with Filipino-based airlines, I've noticed that they don't get everything so that it's seamless. That a fifth or sixth grader can figure out how the process should go. They usually miss a step. And that step messes up your day. So I was happy that in Ormoc, they're still available for counter service, but I worry about the day that they're not. And I'm thinking that the Philippines simply has to learn that you have to provide multiple ways of accessing their programs like they do in the United States, right? They have outreach services provided by nonprofit organizations. That's one. Number two, they have counter services at locations available for you to take part. And number three, you can do the online. It's there. It's easy if you understand it. And it for the most part is a very seamless process, kind of like online banking in the States. But here in the Philippines, it's like they miss a bridge, you know, they miss an important part of the transition. And I'm okay with the fact that they want to curtail corruption and fixers and all the other stuff by doing the technology thing. But I'm just simply saying that you need to be able to accommodate everyone, no matter what their proficiency is, their level of understanding or proficiency. You need to be able to give them a way to go, some other way to approach it. I'm retired. Minnie comes to me and says, "How do I do this?" I don't even want to look at it. I said, hire somebody, hire a sixth grader. They'll love you for it, and they'll make that computer sing. That's how I approach it. I don't. But here's what we were dealing with tonight. I hope she doesn't mind me sharing this. I didn't tell her. I didn't tell Minnie I was going to share it with you. But so now the other thing we were trying to accomplish is she has to get that Social Security number and the volunteer contribution all set up, so that when she retires at age 60 or 65, whatever it is, whatever the maximum retirement age, she can get a pension. So that means, and I was telling Minnie, you have to make maximum contributions for the next 10 years in order to get the return on this. It's like a savings account, basically, but it is Social Security, and it works very similarly to the way it does the United States. You pay in, and to qualify, you have to get 40 qualifying quarters of contribution, which is equivalent to 10 years. In case you don't know it, self-employed people will use this if they have enough profit in their business in order to make those Social Security contributions. And so again, we go down. While we were in Ormoc, the part I didn't show you in the video is we made a visit to the Social Security office, and they turned us away, as we weren't the only ones. They turned just about everybody away, saying you got to go online to deal with this issue, right? And we just couldn't figure it out. And so what we did was we ended up hiring a young lady who's very, very intelligent, 25 years old, knows this stuff like the back of her hand. I mean, doesn't even have to think about it, just knows the processes. And we find her through a friend of a friend, and everybody is going to her. See, everybody is going to her to do things that should be fairly simple to do, like make an appointment for renewing your passport, for applying for PhilHealth, for going and doing the Social Security thing and setting up the contributions. She was telling me while she was here that could be a business for her. She doesn't even have to work. She's a governmental employee. She works in the healthcare field. She says she gets so many calls per day of people that need help that it could be a full-time job helping people meander through the system on the computer. And so that's her forte. And I was watching her work for a few moments, and I was absolutely amazed. I wish higher exchange so that I can have higher revenue this month. Ah, yes. So are you guys following me? And so you guys must know what I'm talking about, because this is your country. And so they're missing steps. They're trying to move so fast to transition from the way they used to, the pencil and paper application system, over to the high tech process and online banking and online everything, that they're missing one step, that transition step. It's kind of like, reminds me a little bit of the United States. Here's what happened there, right? In the United States, they went straight. They had a car that was it both had a gasoline engine and it had electric. So the engine would charge the batteries. And then when the batteries were charged, the car would run on battery power. When they were low on charge, it automatically switched over to gas. And for some reason, even though those were beautiful cars, and Toyota made one of the best ones that I have ever seen, and it was reasonably priced. I would have bought one had I stayed in the States, most likely. I would have waited and I would have bought a used one, but they weren't losing their value because everybody wanted them. In other words, everybody saw the benefit of this car. So it didn't have mileage restrictions. You didn't have to worry about going to a charging station and charging it. You just drove it. You drove the wheels off of it, and you end up getting, I don't know, just tremendous gas mileage because it was running on battery power when they were fully charged, and then it switched over to gas, and so that means that probably less than 25% of the time it was running on gasoline. It was running on gasoline. You never had to fill the thing up. It was mostly being used to recharge the batteries. Amazing vehicles, but they blew right through them in the United States. It went straight from gasoline to electric cars. People are pissed, folks, in the United States. They don't like this thing. They don't like this stuff being shoved up their orifice. They don't like it there. And here they're almost doing the same thing when it comes to those government bureaucracies, switching over from pencil and paper to electronic, online, everything. I mean, geez, I could appreciate that we have a whole generation of kids that seem to have that, what I call the E gene. They seem to be born from the womb knowing how all this stuff works. I mean, that is fascinating in of itself. But I was having a conversation with this lady. She has two children. One of them is, I think she said they were 6 and 2, and she said it was just like fish to water. When they saw her playing around with their phone, they picked up the phones and started using them. I'm sure you guys have similar stories to share. You guys must have similar stories to share about those kids being born just simply knowing how to use the equipment. How did that happen? How did that happen? If they went looking for it, they're probably going to find the E gene, the electronic gene. They have an innate sense of its evolution. I don't know what it is, but it boggles the mind. So anyway, Mammy and her, they were able to work through it, although at times it was painful. I mean, even though you know it, you know the system very well, you will lose 2 or 3 hours of your life, and you're never ever going to get it back. You know what I mean? That's 2 or 3 hours that you could have been doing something else. You could have been on YouTube running games or something like that. You could have been running a giveaway, and then you can't do it because they have you all tied up trying to figure out how to do this. But they eventually did, and once she had that social security number, and even meandering through the volunteer contribution thing was a challenge. They only give you 3 choices. None of them make sense. They should just have one. I just want to contribute because, they want to put you in a category. Are you a business owner, employee, employer? Are you single? Are you married? Do you have a spouse that is on Social Security? All these things, right? And so we were able to do the workarounds to get Mammy her number, and now she can take the number and then make her contributions through Western Union, and then hopefully that'll be all set up. She shouldn't have a need to go in the computer to check her status or balance, but I could see an occasion where we have to go down to Social Security and then ask them for a printout of her contributions. We're slowly but surely working our way through it. The last thing, so those things are done. And then the last thing we have to do now is get the appointment for passport renewal, which there's slots available in Baguio City. Everybody seems to know it, because every time I bring this up in a conversation with anybody, they say, well, Dan, they have January appointments at Baguio. Okay, so you want us to get on a plane. Yeah, you want us to get on a plane in Cebu, fly to Baguio for a passport appointment, a renewal appointment, and then fly back and pray that we make it okay on the top of that little airport mountain that only Philippine Airlines flies those little puddle jumpers into. And hopefully we won't go over the cliff. That airport, I'm telling you, I've been up there. I was up there many, many years ago, and I saw it, and I was like, no and hell no. And now they're saying, oh, we've trained our pilots to they could land this bad boy like a bush plane on a dime. Well, I don't know. I suppose it makes sense. I mean, if you think about it, Philippine Islands, they're islands. They have a lot of similarities to some of the bush pilots, and so I'm sure you have some pilots that have the expertise in landing that plane, that turboprop thing on a dime on the top of a mountain. Land there. You can't even see the mountain, but yeah, you're telling the pilot, "Oh, land there." No, I don't think so. I think we'll just have to wait. She said she's going to work on it. She's going to work on getting us an appointment. She's going to be back tomorrow. Listen, she's a beautiful human being. That's all I could say. She's a beautiful human being, and all I could say is thank God that we found her to help us. Because I'm retired, and my mind is not nearly as sharp as it used to be, folks. I got to tell you something. People would bring me paperwork, complex immigration stuff to do, and they would say, "Dan, can you please help me? Can you apply for my fiance visa? My wife is waiting, and I, we're desperate to be together. Can you help me?" And so I've helped several of my friends bring their Filipino wives back to the United States successfully. I've never had one rejected application, but then I started noticing that I was faltering. It was taking me longer to fill out the applications. I had to think more about what my answers would be. And I used to remember this stuff all the time, and I realized that it was time to step away from it because I was getting close to the point where I thought I might make a mistake on somebody's application and things wouldn't go so well. But no, I never charged for it. No, heck no. These were friends that were, they were coming to me and saying, "Can you please help me do this? This crazy attorney over here wants too much money." And they did want too much money to do this stuff, right? And so I'd just be sitting there and it would take hours. I did one application that was this thick. I kid you not. I did one application that was so thick, and I kept having to go back through it over and over and over again. Anytime I had downtime, I would be like going through the exhibits, exhibit one, make sure I didn't make any mistakes on it. And it was accepted. I mean, it took a long time because that happened. That happened during the global pandemic. Dan, just use your magic carpet and fly there. Do you know where I can get a magic carpet? I probably, I probably, I probably can get. Am I in the right part of the world to get a magic carpet? Is this the land of Aladdin? All right, so you guys have been so nice hanging in there with the 46 million people in the house, and I know others are having live streams. I need to get off of here, and we need to get some money into somebody's pocket. We need to get some Philippine pesos. Ah, Larice Resurrection is here, and yeah, Manala Lazabel, you're in there. Everybody here so far, except for one, is in here, and I'll have to make that correction. If you can send me an email reminder and messenger, we'll square that away. All right, all right. Let me call out. Let me put you on mute for a second because I have to call out for Man Mini. I don't want to yell in your ear. Hang on, just a sec. Girly Santa's here. Girly Santa. Hang on. Thanks so much, everybody, for being here. Here comes Man Mini. Oh, by the way, so I don't know what happened. I don't know why YouTube didn't share out my shark bite video. I think that had something to do with the sound effects, but I'm not sure. The algorithm the short video feed just did not pick that video up. But tomorrow they will. Tomorrow's video. So I got those crinkly fries and we fried them up. And I'm having fun playing around with the lumpia. So you got a couple of great videos, short videos coming your way. But still, if you can help me out a little bit, that was the lowest count short video I think we've ever had, was that remix of the of the shark. I thought Larice would enjoy that one. I think she did, as a matter of fact. There's Man Minnie.
Hi, everyone.
You're making lumpia here. Here it is right here. All right. Here we go. I've got my list. I'm checking it twice.
Hi, Anime Superstar.
Anime is here.
Anime.
Yes, indeed. All right. Now,
Okay, Naomi.
there are one or two of you in here for some odd reason. You never ever get picked. And I cannot figure out why it is that you've had such a rough time getting the money out of this thing. Whoa. All right, Man Minnie.
Good evening, guys.
Here we go. For 500 pesos on a Friday night in the Philippines. Man Minnie, draw us a winner. Draw us a winner.
Sorry, guys.
All right, we've got number what?
Hi,
Holy smokes. Holy smokes. Oh my gosh. The person that I haven't seen here, probably because she's doing her own live stream right now. Pacquiao May, number 79, is the number. I don't know if Pacquiao May is even listening in the BG. This is
that Mary?
Yep, that's one of her ninja channels. Number 79. First call out must be present to win. Number 79. Pacquiao May. Second call out must be present to win. Number 79. Pacquiao May.
Come on, Mary.
Must be present to win. Third call out for number 79. Pacquiao May. Must be present to win. Fourth call out. Pacquiao May.
Pacquiao.
Must be present to win. How do you say that? Pacquiao. Pacquiao May.
Sometimes you say Pacquiao.
Yeah, oh, that's right. I do. That's not right, is it?
Pacquiao.
Pacquiao. Fifth and final. They're probably laughing at me, no. Fifth and final call out for Pacquiao May. What?
Where are you, Mary?
Where's Pacquiao May? Is Pacquiao May present? Pacquiao May is present.
Hope to see you again, Mern. I miss you, girl.
Wait. I'm so far behind in this chat. I got to go to my phone. Share Dunster Dance. So now, see, I don't even think she knows that her name was called Pacquiao May.
Pacquiao Mern.
I always end up in some controversy.
Merns, where are you, Mern?
You know, I always end up in some controversy concerning concerning this, knowing that she's also Pacquiao May, but she has to go in there and have a gadget and say present. All right, let's see where we're at. Give me a chance to load up. Yeah, and there. Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah, she's there. She's on my phone.
Yay,
so okay, so I guess today's winner is Pacquiao May, and so we'll be sending it. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, though. I'm gonna draw one more time. We're gonna have two winners tonight. Two winners to celebrate the new nighttime live stream. We're gonna have one more draw. Now I'm sending out Pacquiao May her winnings. I got my phone lit up. We're gonna do it again, but I know I only have 500 on my Gcash. So whoever wins this 500 on this next draw, you're gonna have to wait for it for tomorrow when I get down to 7-Eleven. I load it up. All right, so that's the deal. So now Mammy is going to draw another one. P500 winner in celebration of the nighttime live stream. Here you go.
Okay, this is for you.
Okay, we have a number here. Oh, uh-oh. 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 Give me a moment to go find out who this is first. I'm so disorganized. Uh-huh. Oh! It's number 101 Smash. Number 101 Smash. First call out. Must be present to win. It's number 101 Smash. Second call out. Must be present to win. It's number 101 Smash. Third call out. Must be present to win. It's number 101 Smash. Fourth call out. Must be present to win. Wait. Why is everybody saying congratulations?
That's for Mern.
Why is everybody saying congratulations to Smash?
Oh, why you don't see percent right away?
Where's Smash? Oh, it's just yeah, it's Jaylene. But where's her channel name? Smash. Or have I made a mistake here? Jaylyn. Oh, okay. All right, there you go. All right, Smash and Pakyome are the winners, and so that went kind of choppy or dicey a little bit. But anyway, congratulations to everybody. Thanks so much for being here tonight. I really appreciate it. We're going to see you next Friday, Philippine time, 6 p.m. And I will have something important to share at that time. I don't know what it is yet, but we will see everybody later. Yeah, once a week only. Take care. Bye-bye. We'll see you later. Have a good night. We're out in 5,